Is President Trump the worst president in history? Well, a majority of Americans seem to think so. According to a new Marist poll, 42% of Americans believe that President Trump will now be remembered as one of the worst presidents in U.S. history. Now, I'm going to go into why I do think that's kind of unfair later on, but let's give you the numbers here. I know, drama, right? Another 16% think Trump will be remembered as a below-average leader. Now, so that's, again, it's a big majority where they think, yes, he's going to be remembered as one of the worst presidents in history, or he's at least below average. Well, I would say he's well below average. But anyway, what about people who actually like him? 18% of respondents expect Trump will be remembered as an above-average president or one of the best presidents in history. Now, remember, I gave you two different numbers. 42% say that worst president in history, no doubt. Another 16% add that onto it, below average. But on the side of pro-Trump, only 18%. So he'll say he'll be both above average or one of the best in history. That's sad. Now, I do kind of want to ask those people, hey, man, what has he done to make him the best president? Although I do assume the answer is going to be, well, he's not Obama. He's not Obama. Fair enough. Now, let's break it down by party, okay? Let's start with the Republicans. Now, 48% of Republicans think Trump will be remembered as one of the best or as an above-average president. So when you break it down by party, obviously, you're going to have nearly half of all Republicans going, the best. He's the best. He's tremendous. Now, about one-third of Republicans, however, think Trump will be remembered as an average president. Now, let's go over to the Democrats. No surprise, 70% of Democratic respondents think Trump will be remembered as one of the worst presidents in history, while another 18% of Democrats think Trump will be remembered as below average. So that is no surprise, again, but the Republican numbers are very interesting. Less than half of all Republicans think he's doing a great job or even the best job. Now, I think that's likely because he hasn't been able to do anything. Essentially, at this point, he's been a lame duck. All he does is stir up controversy on Twitter. He has not shown results. He hasn't repealed Obamacare. He hasn't, so far, done tax reform. Though I think most Americans, in fact, there are polls where most Americans are against giving more taxes for the rich. So they're actually against that tax plan. And again, he hasn't done anything when it comes to the opioid epidemic. He hasn't built a wall. There's no wall yet. So, yeah. So those numbers are interesting, and they also make a lot of sense. Now, here's where this poll actually does kind of matter. Now, 60% of independents expect Trump will be remembered as a below-average leader or one of the worst in history. Now, when you lose independents, you're likely to lose elections. In fact, just ask the Democrats about that. They did not do well. Hillary Clinton, I should say, did not do well with independents. Now, this poll, look, this does illustrate how bad Trump is doing when it comes to unpopularity. It's sort of unprecedented. So now let me get into why this isn't exactly fair. Now, when you look at a presidency, for example, you've got to take in a lot of factors. Well, number one, Trump's not even finished yet. He's only 10 months in. I know, for me, it's felt like 10 years. But look, it's not really enough time to say that he's the worst president in history. Now, let's look at Bush, for example. George W., right? Terrible president, war criminal, idiot, although Trump does make him look like a genius, and somebody who helped crash the economy while giving giant tax cuts for the rich, while simultaneously fighting two unfunded wars. By all measures, the Bush presidency was an absolute policy and economic disaster. It was so bad that he got into the 20s in his last year in office. They had to hide this guy during the Obama presidency because, again, while McCain was running for the presidency in 2008, they had to hide George W. Bush because he was such an embarrassment to the party. They're like, no, don't bring him out. No, we are moving past George W. Bush. We're not going to do that again. That guy was an idiot. I mean, there's no way we can do worse than Bush, right? Right? Oh. And then they bring down Trump. But anyway, look, when you look at Trump, by the way, George W. Bush actually does seem like a breath of fresh air. Oh, look, it's that lovable goofball, George W. Bush. Oh, we miss him, don't we? Well, look, the guy is not lovable. He is a war criminal. But thanks to how disastrous Donald Trump is, the media and the Republicans are actually looking to Bush. And they're like, okay, we can rehabilitate you. We can bring you back. That's why the media and the pundits are all like fawning over the recent Bush speech, because without even mentioning Trump, he just said, white supremacy is bad, okay? And they're like, oh my God, that was the moment when George W. Bush became president. Again, this shows how far how low the bar has gotten. It's a disaster. Trump has liberals pining for the days of Bush. It's absolutely insane. But the point is, how this relates to the poll is, look, George W. Bush had 8 years to deserve his reputation. Donald Trump, to be fair, has only had 10 months. And still, already, a majority of Americans think he's an absolute disaster. It's amazing. Now, just think if he actually gets something accomplished. That could change. His poll numbers could go up. This poll could change. Or it could continue to spiral down into the toilet. We don't know what way it's going to go or what he's going to do. So I still think it's a little early to call him the worst president in history. But it's not too early to say that he's been a monumental disaster so far. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.